Peace, family. It's 19 Keys tapping in with you. We back in general season. I just want to say that to you all. I'm not going to overtalk, so I'm on my way to an interview. But I want to put some what ifs on your mind. Especially as I see that we are working to respond to things that are happening in the world right now. And as a people of influence, what we're working to shift towards is people with force. It's funny because when I get on these lives, I typically see the numbers fluctuate, right? They used to just jump all the way up. My posts still do immaculate, but they try to dead my reach, even the amount of followers I can get and cannot get and things of that nature. I might gain 50,000 and then lose 50,000, and that's their way of trying to suppress certain voices during this time. And the question is why? And there's a lot that I want to go over. There's a lot that I want to speak on. I believe that it's interesting how fast that things move in their time and we don't have any patience. Somebody get on the live and you have mere moments to get their attention, to get them focused. And after that, right, they lose and become disinterested. And what I realize, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the person. Once we lose our ability to focus, there is nothing else we can do. We lose everything. We lose our world, we lose our women, we lose our power, we lose our influence, our force. Our ability to focus is everything. To focus on slow messages that take time to build up. Knowledge that takes time to understand. Wisdom that takes time to acquire. If we cannot be strong like an old tree, then our youth is wasted, waiting, but not becoming. So during this season, slowing down is the new speeding up. See, trying to keep up with the world is how you lose yourself. Every day, something changes. And this reality has been this way on purpose. If I can bombard you with so much, then you will never do anything because you will never have any time to process. None at all. And then you will be frantic, you will have anxiety, you will be worried, you'll be depressed, you'll be overstimulated but underaccomplished. You will have all of the information, but none of the attention. And without the attention, there's no retention. Make the mind focus again. Make the mind focus again. Some of the greatest speakers in the world, they always had these preludes before their conversation even began. They warm up the room. And on social media, wisdom is forced to be fast, which cheapens it and turns it into mere, and then that knowledge gets degraded even more, forced to compact it, turning it into just information. A great philosopher once said, we have a wealth of a wealth of information, but a poverty of attention. Our ability to process data is decreasing every single day. We don't want to listen to nobody fast because we got somewhere else to get to, something else to get to. We want every answer to come to us instantly without taking a step back to think. And we become respondents instead of strategists. Reacting. Let me react to this. That's why on social media, the reaction videos are so big. React. But no real response. Your ability to respond. Reacting videos mean nothing. Response videos, response actions. That's responsibility. Your ability to respond according, especially to credible threats. That's what we should be focused on. Our response ability, not our reactive abilities. And that means that we need to take time to breathe, to center ourselves so that the tinkling at the top of our head is where our concentration lies, above low carnal body. During this time of Hidden History Month, why do I call it Hidden History? Because it's not what we know, it's what we don't know during this month that is the most powerful freer of a chained mind. Hidden History Month. If I was to take someone and indoctrinate them into the African American, which I'm not fond of that name at all, studies, who would they become after I'm done shaping their consciousness? What's the consequence? They would learn about W.E.B. Du Bois, Thurgood Marshall. They would learn about so-called American histories. But after they learn, will they know themselves? Will they feel victorious? Will their ability to respond become better? That becomes the key question. Because there's a reason that we learn history. It's not just to know, it's to evolve beyond where we came from. So if history is not taught in a way that evolves the mind, then history is worth nothing. There's all these stories of the victor that make you feel oppressed. But just because someone lost doesn't mean they didn't have the spirit of a winner. They didn't have the courage, the resilience, the bravery. If I ask, how many of you all have studied Black history? How many studied Black history their whole life, and year after year, still they're learning new things on TikTok that should have been taught in every school or first by every parent to their child. But you cannot teach what you do not know. Most 99% of people that consider themselves to be Black Americans do not know about the Black Seminoles. We don't know about that. We know about Nat Turner, and he was a powerful man. How does his story end? It's a reason that certain stories are continued to pass, but other stories, not so much. And one thing that you must realize is that there are more than one agendas in the world. It's not just the white man's agenda. What about our agenda and the differences within the Black community and how we viewed history and why we told it a certain way? Don't you think that there being a free class of Black Americans, a class that have a little more money than the rest, they may look a little different than what they believe should be the way to go forward because they have more to lose. So they make people their heroes and tell stories because they have more resources to shape the minds of Black America so that their viewpoints are the ones that are held the highest, and they have the most intersection and connectivity to government and big money and other agendas that they will work with and in today's time possibly sell out. So you have to remember that there are competing agendas, and you have to ask yourself, from which agenda did you learn? From which timeline did you learn? From which timeline did you learn? From whose fountain did you drink? Now this is very important. I'm putting together a newsletter. It's a think piece. It's about what would the world be if Elijah Muhammad never existed. It's an incredible think piece because I went through it in different ways. First, we thought about it from a hip hop standpoint. What would hip hop be if Elijah Muhammad never existed? Which is very interesting because when you look at the foundation of hip hop, being the gods, circle of knowledge, the ciphers, the Rakim Allahs, right? The Wu-Tang clans. And then you go into cosmology, right? He was the one teaching astronomy and thoughts of the cosmos to Black America. We know about Black Wall Street, but how many of us learned about the most successful economic network in Black American history? Not many. Yet that was the Nation of Islam. Well, why weren't we taught that in school? Questions. As a grown person, you have to ask yourself. There would be no Malcolms, no Muhammad Ali's, even the blueprint of the Black Panthers. Dr. Sebi taught directly under him, which helped shifted a health paradigm. He was the one to give the first. There would be no keto diets as we know them today. The entire Black American movement and the Muslim movement in America is due to the Nation of Islam, which of course the founder being the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There have been no Million Man March, no Minister Louis Farrakhan, right? No Warthdeen Muhammad, no Khalid Muhammad. The very direction of Black consciousness in America would not exist. We would have to delete entire movies. We would have to delete entire music and albums. The Alpha Empress Sayyida, I don't know how to enunciate that, Yayaita, said Elijah Muhammad was taught by Noble Drew Ali. I've never seen that evidence. But one thing I can say is that we don't even speak on Noble Drew Ali, nor Marcus Garvey in the right way, I would say. If you're going to learn about hidden history this month, then you should learn about the figures that have been hidden and they have been spoken about. Because I want you all to think about it like this. And this is no disrespect to those that we exalt, that we do know. But it's about what we don't know. If there's no Elijah Muhammad, there's no Father Allah. You don't get the 5% movement. The impact, I believe, Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is the most impactful American to live globally. Specifically, one considered themselves Black American. And we don't even look at it, the fact that man had a 3rd grade education. Then we would see ourselves as, wait a minute, we were geniuses, a polymath, and built the largest economic network in Black American history of a 3rd grade education. Because based on his own claims, he was taught by God in person for 3 years. That was his university and where he said he got his knowledge. And after that, he went to build the biggest nation within a nation in American history that became the most consequential, effective ever. Yet, it's almost erased from history completely. I'm gonna let y'all with those thoughts. I have an interview to get to, but I want us to think about during this month hidden history and the hidden figures that if we resurrect during our time, which ones would empower us to win? Which ones actually had the blueprint? Peace.